Welcome to September, and one of the things I love about September is foraging. And I will forage anywhere and anywhere that finds me lovely free things like blackberries. It makes a country walk even more interesting if you take some gloves to protect your hands, because blackberries really stain, and take a little carrier bag, little plastic bag, and then you can just pull these really great blackberries. The hint though is don't do it near a road, because you don't want the fumes of the cars to get into the blackberries. So find a lovely country space in the open air and just gather. And here are my three favourite things to do with blackberries. One is Blackberry Vodka. And this will turn vodka into something so delicious, and it's so beautiful. You can actually just sip it on its own. It's quite sweet, or you can add it to a cocktail. And this is all you do. Find a nice wide-necked jar. You pop your blackberries in, which obviously you've had a little wash, and make sure there's no twigs or scratchy bits on the blackberries. Pop it in your jar, add the sugar, add the vodka, and then you basically just set that in the fridge or a cool, dark place for about a month. What I do every few days is I turn my blackberries around and just make sure they're agitated in the liquid. And then after about a month, you literally just strain that off, put the liquid into a nice clean sterilised bottle, and then you've got your blackberry vodka. You've then got some blackberries left over, and you can do one of two things. You can either turn it into a blackberry fool, and what that means is you literally just take the macerated blackberries. I usually take a couple of really big spoonfuls, and then I take a small carton of yogurt and a small carton of cream, which I beat up, and blend the two together, and you've got the most delicious dessert. It's got a bit of alcohol in it, so maybe it's not what you serve at tea time to the kids, but it's a really lovely posh dessert to serve to adults, and I put that in a cocktail glass. So that's one thing you can do with blackberry vodka. Another thing you can do with blackberries is just make jam. And jam is so simple. Apparently it's a dying art, which I think is so sad, because it is the loveliest thing to do with fruit. And it's so simple, and all you basically need to do is weigh your crop of blackberries, and then whatever they weigh, it's twice as much in sugar, and you pop it all together into a big deep pan. I'm seriously into preserving, so I've got a posh preserving pan, which my husband bought me. But you just need a large saucepan, and then basically you pop in your fruit and about 100 mils of water, just enough to stop it from sort of sticking at the bottom. Now, the thing to know about blackberries, being fairly sweet, and it's the same with all sweet fruit, is it doesn't have any natural pectin in it. So you need something that sharpens it up and actually will help it to set. So what I do is I squeeze a lemon. I'm not really prescriptive about the quantities. I've done this for so long, I've stopped stressing out about it. The only thing you stress out about is sometimes it sticks on the bottom. I don't know how I avoid that. I try not to. But what you do is basically take your fruit, a little bit of water, sugar and lemon juice, bring it up to a rapid boil, and then let it just simmer away for about 20 minutes. To find out if it's set, you take a teaspoonful, maybe a dessert spoonful, pop it onto a freezing cold saucer. I pop mine in the freezer before I start. So actually, if it starts to sort of gel and set, you know it's done. If it's still very liquidy, just boil it for a little bit longer. But not too much, because otherwise you'll end up with glue, and that's happened to me more than once. So that's your blackberry jam. So simple. You've got a blackberry full. If you haven't got the blackberries from the vodka, then don't worry about that. Take some blackberries, overnight, put a few spoonfuls of icing sugar. I use icing sugar because it really melts in. And then the next day, you're gonna have this lovely, juicy sort of compote. And then I add it to my whipped double cream and my yogurt, and you've got this lovely kind of blackberry ripple type of dessert. And so there we have it. That's my produce from September. I hope you have a wonderful month, and talk to you soon. Lots of love.